I hope you're alive this morning. You alive? Did you breathe well this morning? Did you wake up? Did you experience a little mini wachoni this morning? You know what that means? Water is life. Everybody had their glass of water this morning? You're made of water. Mini wachoni. Water is life. Don't ever forget to get your glass of water in the morning and give thanks, right? All right, brothers. So, Joe Davis, our poet in residence, is a dear friend. He's I'm from the north side of Minneapolis, and Joe is in our community making change happen and giving kids the encouragement and affirmation for them to write their stories and create a better world. But Joe's not here this morning, so I'm going to give my best Joe Davis because this is from his book, Remind Me Again. Okay? Are you ready for this? A reminder to where to find courage before we begin today. Can there be a space for us that feels safe enough to be brave enough? A space to practice loving ourselves with vulnerable and courageous love? Courageous enough to be vulnerable, vulnerable enough to be courageous. If we can't find this place yet, can we be brave enough to create it? Whenever you're looking for what you've lost and someone else is helping, they ask, where's the last place you saw it, but not the last place you felt it? We've all been here before. We've all been brave before. But sometimes bravery gets misplaced, and what it feels like in our bodies maybe needs to be retraced. If you can't find the old path, perhaps a new one can be made. Shine your flashlight in the shade where memories' lanes begin to fade. If fear and courage makes our bodies feel exactly the same, what happened inside of us to make the feeling change its name? We've all heard these stories of amazing feats of bravery, like the mom who lifts a car to save her crying baby. Is it fear or love that gives us superhuman feelings to fight off packs of wolves or leap from building to building? Can the stories hidden in our hearts and buried in our brains make more space for love to flow like blood coursing through our veins? Help us untangle our nerves, help us loosen our chains, help us finally face our fears and move through our pain. I can't tell you how to grow through life and never be afraid, but I can show you how to feel the fear and do it anyway. When you no longer fear the feeling that begins to feel the fear, it gets smaller and smaller until it starts to disappear. Wipe away all the dust from your mirror so everything you face can be seen even clearer, until fear is in the rear view and hope is even nearer. And no matter where you look, you see courage everywhere. Get up here, Joe. A brave space is never far away, and it's never really gone. It's the wholehearted part of you that's been waiting all along. Find bravery in every wall and floorboard your fingertips have ever felt. Find it in every cabinet and shelf that you have within yourself. No more looking under cushions and closets or anywhere else, but it's found in the foundation of you, which you is built. No need for renovation or furniture rearrangement when it's the frame which you were made with, from the attic to the basement. Activate the places within you once thought unsafe or dangerous. Make staircases from anxiousness to excitement to innovation. Replace fear and shame with inspiration and amazement. Come on, get up here. It's an audacious, bold, and brazen act of risk-taking. To rename and reclaim yourself is a brave haven.
Yes, you want me to continue? All right, yeah, I had a poem I was going to do called Show Up for folks.
Do that too.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. See, you left off right here. We can do the last couple stanzas.
Last three.
A space to practice loving yourself with vulnerability and courageous love. Courageous enough to be vulnerable, vulnerable enough to be courageous. If we haven't found this space yet, we are brave enough to create it.
All right.
Yeah, right on. Thank you, thank you. Right on, right on. You want me to share a piece? Yeah. All right. Well, it's funny. Yeah, show up. So I just showed up here. I was talking to somebody out here. But grateful to be with you all. I think one of the most important things we can do is to show up, and that's not just being physically present in a space, but to be present in mind and in spirit. I know for me, just sharing briefly, I learned at a young age because of the environment I was in and some of the experiences I had. I learned how to escape really easily into my head because my body didn't always feel safe. So that's why I wrote that piece, Brave Space, to practice. It's a practice. So I'm grateful for y'all being invited into that practice of showing up together. This piece goes all to all of you all who are committed to that practice of showing up, because you got to keep practicing every single day, because if your life is designed like mine, the moment you wake up, we're being pulled to different directions, right? Um, here, yeah. Whether it's the technology or our phones, or I like to say our weapons of mass distraction, whether it's doom scrolling or looking at the news, what I call the worst things that are happening near you, whatever it is, there's always something to pull us, but we can just put our hands over our heart and say, right here, I'm going to show up. I choose to show up for what matters most. So this goes out to all of you all who are committed to that practice each and every day. We've each been called to this place, this time and this season. You may not yet know the rhyme or the reason. You may not feel, think, or believe in the same things I believe in, but we've been asked to show up. Show up wherever you are from. You can come here to be free. Bring your full self, both your head and your heart, your hands and your feet, and anything and everything infinitely beyond any duality or sexuality, gender, race, age, or ability. We all have the ability to be. Without you, I'm incomplete. Without you, there's no we. I need you not just to survive, but to thrive. To come fully awake and alive with potential and possibility. Joining me at the table for this wide, and there's lots of food to eat. So show up and be fed and feed others. Satiate a different kind of hunger. Fueling the fire in our bellies. No matter what journey you're on, where you've been, or what you've done, all will be well when we're all welcome. To laugh, cry, dance, write, breathe, and bleed into the margins and follow the call to the false reaches of who we are. Whether you run, walk, crawl, even if you fall, we fall in love. But just show up. Show up to answer call to justice, to transform both the soul and the bodily world the soul inhabits. Show up with all your awkwardness and bad habits. Show up with your doubts and with your questions. Knowing here, you can ask them. Show up with your wounds and your scars. We all have baggage. Put it together, we can unpack it. This is no mistake. You're not here by accident. You're here to share the stories of your sacred passage. You are the only you that ever has been. You are not the magician. You are the magic. So show up to this place here where there's no grace period. There's only grace, period.
All that is, was, and ever shall be. Help me to set aside everything I think I already know. Everything I think I already know about myself, others, and life itself. Help me to have an open heart and an open mind so that I may have a new experience with everything you have created. In the name of all that is good, holy, true, and here. Amen. It is my deep pleasure and great joy, brothers, to introduce to you today Dr. Angel Acosta. My name is Gene Gallegos, for those who don't know me. My nickname is Gino. Greetings to our wonderful community online. Wow, I first heard of Dr. Acosta through some angels. Dr. Angel Kyoto Williams, a wonderful Buddhist contemplative, fierce power in this world. She did an online presentation with Dr. Angel Acosta. The presence of angels were everywhere. Dr. Angel Acosta is a man of a human of great love and fierce courage. He offers a healing-centered paradigm. Listen to what he offers. Social and emotional healing. Does that not sound like the men's work? Like human work? Social justice, mindfulness, trauma-informed healing, indigenous approaches. He offers some great offerings that you can find from the Acosta Institute. You can also find him on YouTube. There is AI for the rest of us. There's Can AI Heal Us? And he also offers an AI certificate program. They're accepting applications now. A great way, I know, that helps us men in Illuman operationalize this great love we have in our hearts. He offers us a great opportunity to transcend and look at AI and what it can do, how it's on the horizons, the awkwardness, the brave awkwardness and kindness that Brene Williams talks about. As we weave this work together, it's weaving through you, in you, and as you. So it's my great pleasure to introduce virtually Dr. Angel Acosta. Let's get him all queued up. Speak to us, brother. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you all hear me? All right, so we're good now, fellas. Sorry about that. Technology sometimes is a little challenging. My name is Dr. Angel Acosta. I'm just so excited to be able to spend a little time with you all during this incredible conference. And I want to say a couple things. We'll get to artificial intelligence in a bit, but the first thing I want to tell you is thank you. Thank you for making a commitment to deepen your own personal journey of healing, transformation, and just expanding your consciousness. It's not, as you all know, it's not easy. It's not easy. We're battling thousands of years of conditioning in terms of how power works, how our identity is shaped, how our culture is formed, in terms of what it means to be a man. So I just want to thank you all for allowing your heart to break open into this process. I want to, my role today is to share a little bit around AI, and so I'll do a little bit of framing, and then also say that I'm here as a resource, as a chair of the Acosta Institute. You provide a lot of different kinds of programming, and in fact, this Sunday we're launching a artificial intelligence certificate program, and I actually have some scholarships for those of you who might be interested, and I'll share a little more information on that in a few. We're already tasked with this incredible challenge of, on the one hand, becoming more vulnerable as men, becoming more grounded, becoming more vocal about, our inner life, setting boundaries and being able to respect others' boundaries in a world that is constantly changing at a speed that we've never really seen before. In addition, as a society, as you all know, we're experiencing climate change, continued racial and gender disparities, economic vulnerability, and as you all are aware, a pretty heated political election. So, my God, right when all of this is happening, we're asked to dig deeper, to go harder, and to expand our sense of self in relation to our role as men in this society. I just want to acknowledge that's a lot. That's a lot. And there's more. When it comes to AI, what I need each of you to understand is that this is, from my vantage point, one of the largest and most momentous discoveries in our species' history. I want you to sit with that. I'm going to say it again. AI is going to be bigger than the internet and as significant as the invention and discovery of fire and electricity. As you settle into that truth, what's important to understand is that there's a tsunami of change in light of the rapid technological growth over the last 100 years. And part of what's important to engage and to do now is to develop a really grounded sense of self, because the speed of change can be a little disorienting. The speed of change can be a little disorienting. And what we're going to see, what we're seeing is, a variety of different ways to approach it. One way is to ignore it, is to ignore this technological evolution that's happening. Kind of bury yourself in the sand like the ostrich. There's fear around losing our jobs, fear around some of these technologies taking over and controlling us. Those fears are understandable. But another way, another extreme way, is to be what sometimes they call a techno optimist or utopian. These technologies are here and are going to save us from ourselves. And even in that case, relax. The middle is where we need to be, is understanding the limits and the potential of these technologies. The limits and the potentials of these technologies, centered, processing our fear, processing our anxieties around it, and more importantly, cautiously playing with these technologies, seeing how they relate and how they connect to our own personal development, our community work. So, what I want you to begin to think about, I want to give you 30 seconds to sit with this question. What's your relationship to artificial intelligence right now? What's your relationship to artificial intelligence? Is it existent? Is it not existent? Have you played with the tools? Take 30 seconds. Now that you felt into that, what I want to go deeper in is the limits of these technologies. The limits of these technologies. You see, even though AI has burst into the scene over the last year or two, as far as like mainstream culture with the advent of ChatGPT and many other what they're called large language models, AI as a field has been in formation for about 50 years. And what the key thing to understand is that we as a species have created synthetic intelligence. Synthetic intelligence. And those of us, you're all very spiritual brothers. I can feel it. Like we have created an extension of us. Synthetic, not biotic, not bionic, not biological, but this kind of intelligence can do and process information in a very significant way. In moments, can do more than we can in terms of holding data sets. Data sets. Why that's so significant? Two is there's several reasons, but one is we've created synthetic intelligence that can exist outside of our minds. And as the technology is evolving at a rapid rate, you see, it's not like the calculator, or it's not like even the internet. Like the calculator as a technology, right? You have a calculator, you put an input, 2 times 2, or a more complicated equation, and you can put an input and then you get an immediate output. Basic AI can work that way, but some of the more complicated models can actually do independent thinking, right? So you can put an input in an AI and it can do independent thinking outside of your instruction, your initial instruction. So you can give it an initial instruction and they can engage in abstract reasoning and independent thinking. And that's huge, my friends. That's huge. That's tremendous. That's tremendous in terms of our capacity as a human species to develop something like that. Now, here's where it gets uh, juicy when it comes to understanding the limitations of this stuff. You got to understand that every time you use some of these technologies, they're connected to an ecology. Every time you search, even on Google itself, but definitely on our AI systems like ChatGPT, these AIs are you leveraged and kind of concentrated in these supercomputers and superconductors that extract a lot of water from the environment, that extract a lot of minerals from the environment, right? So there are ways that AI reinforces this very difficult relationship we have with Mother Earth, over consuming the natural resources, right? On top of that, oftentimes the people who end up training AIs, not the designers, but the people who train AIs in terms of putting in images or putting in different kind of data sets to train the models, are low-wage workers in developing countries, right? So from a ecological, an environmental perspective, AI has the tendency to reproduce a colonial order of wage and value extraction, my friends. So here's the tension. Here's a tension that I want you all to keep in mind of, is that how are we going to move forward as a society with this incredibly powerful technology that has the potential to unlock so much for us, so much for us. Yet the bias baked into them and the ways that it can be environmentally damaging are clear. So that's going to be the dance. That's going to be the dance across the next several decades. Now to the potential of AI. Now to the potential of AI. And I'm going to show you a couple examples. Part of what you want to understand is that these technologies can take enormous amounts of data and allow you to see patterns that, just as a human, it might either take you longer or just almost impossible to kind of get. So part of what we can leverage AI for is for several reasons. Sometimes mental health, being able to have uh, an entity that you can chat and have discussions with, even though there's research pointing to the benefits of it, but also, an addiction to literal AI girlfriends. They're out there. They're out there. Don't lie. Some of you might have some little AI girlfriends on the low. I'm just joking. But in about 4 or 5 years, it's gonna be more of a norm. It's gonna be more of a norm. Um, but from a mental health standpoint, there's some potential to leverage AI for some support. When it comes to productivity, there I've saved hours leveraging AI to help me kind of think about my writing, think about my schedule, think about some of the programming that I'm doing in the field. But the one thing that I want to really emphasize here that's a little bit more reasonable is helping you to engage in goal setting. Very simple. Engage in goal setting with leveraging AI, right? So as we're trying to awaken as men into larger and larger, more expansive levels of consciousness, we also need processes to execute and to get things done in our lives, right? So that can be in the form of our goals. With your permission, with your permission, I'm going to show you how I use AI to plan and to move my goals forward. So, thumbs up. We're good? Good. So, I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing I'm going to show you is going to be a little bit advanced, depending on where you are in your journey. ChatGPT, OpenAI's ChatGPT has allowed in its infrastructure. So you can use ChatGPT, but if you pay for the subscription, you can actually build your own, AI. Let me say that again. You can build your own AI. It's called the custom GPT. If I may, I want to show you, I've built 8 custom GPTs. So I want to show you our custom AIs. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yep. So this is the Akasa Institute's artificial intelligence community team. These are all AIs, my friends. These are all AIs. These are not real people. These are all 8 AI agents. They're technically not agents yet, but these are all AIs that my team at the Acosta Institute can use and talk to. This is Ease. Ease helps us with branding and marketing. She is trained on the Acosta Institute values, mission, and vision for the future of building a healing-centered education um, community that supports with developing our mindfulness and commitment to social justice. My team can go to her when they can't reach me and to write an email or to write, and she can support them with a first draft in a really significant way. But today, and then let me, Carolina is a curriculum and program specialist, design specialist. So I can talk to Carolina and she can help me design a curriculum. For example, I was talking to a client and I was going to facilitate a 2-day workshop around embodied learning and social emotional learning. Well, I already knew what I wanted to discuss and explore, but I went to Carolina and I explained to her like what I'm going to do 2 days, and I just said, could you help me organize the agenda? From 9 to 4, 2 days with a lunch break. And she gave me a tentative possible schedule. I looked at the schedule and I was like, oh, good. It's a good idea. But I modified it significantly. But here's the thing: is that in that in that particular prompting the I saved about 2 hours. I saved about 2 hours of sitting and thinking about what's exactly my flow for those 2 days. And I was able to go right into some more significant event and agenda planning for that experience. So leveraging these AIs in my work. But today I want to talk to you about Miguel. And I'm going to give all of you access to Miguel. I'm going to give all of you access to Miguel. Miguel is what I trained him. Listen to this. I trained him as a healing centered peak performance coach. Peak performance coach. And I trained him so that he can support my team and me with navigating our social and emotional lives at work, but also with goals. Also with goals. So he's a custom GPT. All of them are. They know my name. They know my bio. They know my team's names, my team member names. They know their bios. I also trained, I also trained Miguel in our team's quarterly goals. So, for example, Miguel knows all of my goals for my business. So, I want to show you how you can leverage AI to support your personal and professional development, which could create space for you. It can create space for you to do even more work in your path to awaken. That's the key, is that we leverage AI to support us logistically and in terms of productivity to save space and emotional and cognitive bandwidth so that we can have more time to do this deeper work of trying to awaken into our divine masculine and of course our divine feminine features as well. As you all know, that we carry both of those energies, but as men we have more of that masculine energy. So hold on. So I'm going to take us to Miguel. I'm going to take us to Miguel. And so this is the Chat GPT. This is the Chat GPT interface of Miguel. And thumbs up if you are still with me. Those of you online and yeah, thank you. So I'm gonna say, hey Miguel, I always treat them very nice. I always say very nice. Hey Miguel, it's Angel Acosta. And he knows me. He knows me. He knows me. He's ready to support. He's been trained. And but what I want you to begin to see is let's say today, I, as a father of a 3-year-old, my father passed away this summer. Let's say I'm feeling low, man. I'm feeling low today. I'm not about that awakened life right now. I need to execute. My business is in trouble. And I feel disoriented. And I need a quick pep talk. I need to get clear on what am I supposed to be doing right now? What should I be focusing on? You see, from a human perspective, what happens when we're in a depressed state or a state of dysregulation is that our nervous system is so overwhelmed with this feeling that we lose perspective on the larger vision that we have, on the larger vision we have for our lives, for our business in that moment, right? So let's say in this moment, I'm losing my sense of kind of commitment and focus, but I have Miguel. I have my boy Miguel. I can say to Miguel, hey, Miguel, I am feeling a little disoriented, and need to anchor myself in my fourth quarter goals. Could you please remind me of my Q4 goals? Now, before I hit enter, my friends, I want you to know that Miguel is trained in my fourth quarter goals. So the labor he's doing is very simple. He's extracting the data I've trained him in. So I'm gonna click enter. Now look at Miguel going off. Of course, Dr. Acosta. Here is a rundown of your quarter fourth goals to help you get reoriented. Now look at these goals that I had set out before the quarter started. Strategic content creation, writing and reflection, relationship building and networking, marketing and financial preparation, personal growth and health. In particular, engaging in rituals and ceremonies to replenish my energy and complete a time out exercise for better time management. Now, so you saw, right? You saw I was a little disoriented in terms of, where should I be focusing my time and energy? Oh my God. I can lean on Miguel, my boy, remind me of a Q4 goals. Now, let's say I want to go a little deeper. Let's say I want to go a little deeper. And I want to say to him, you know what, Miguel? I want to focus. I'm going to copy this one. Since we're at Awaken, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to say, Miguel, make some recommendations for how I can deepen in a practical way this particular goal. And then I'm going to copy and paste, engage in rituals and ceremonies to replenish energy. I'm just going to put that. I'm going to take this one out. I'm just going to put replenish energy. Let's see what Miguel has to say. So he gives me some advice. Deepening your commitment to rituals and ceremonies for energy replenishment is a powerful way to anchor yourself, especially with the demands of your strategic and relational work. Here are some practical ways to enhance this goal. Personalized daily grounding ritual. Start and end the day with reflection. Begin your morning with a brief grounding practice. Energy visualization, weekly ceremony for reset and renewal, nature-based rituals, sacred space, monthly reflection ceremony, ritual of reflection and letting go. So you begin to see, it's not perfect, but it's something to work with, right? It's something to work with. And I can go deeper. You see, unlike the calculator, unlike the internet, it's not just you input data and get an immediate output. It's you input data, you can expand the inquiry. You can expand the conversation with these large language models, right? So that I can go in with Miguel and go deeper, get more intentional. I could even say, thank you, Miguel. Can you give me 4 affirmations to help me stay grounded today? Here goes Miguel giving me affirmations. Thank you, brother. Just salute you. I am anchored in my purpose and guided by clarity. I hold space for growth in myself and others, knowing that every step contributes to collective healing. Miguel sounds like Gino out here. I trust in the wisdom of my experiences and allowing each moment to strengthen and renew my energy. I embrace peace within, creating space for joy, resilience, focused for perseverance. Now, here's the final point, my friends. This technology cannot replace human creativity and the human warmth of an actual coach. The warmth of an actual person to be able to connect with. But in moments of lack of clarity and disorientation, this technology can be a tremendous support and scaffold to help you develop plans to keep moving along in terms of your personal and professional goals. What I want to close out is if you go to Acosta, if you go to acostainstitute.com, I'll put it in the chat as well for my folks in the Zoom. If you go to acostainstitute.com, this is our website. And if you go here to education, and we'll send this information to you. This AI program here, this AI certificate program, it's about applications of artificial intelligence and education, but it really is for everybody. If you go here right now, you can learn more about it. It starts on Sunday. Even though the price is this, I actually have a scholarship for all of you. I have $1,000. I have actually $1,300 scholarship for anybody in this room who wants to participate. So the registration will only be $200. So I really want to make sure that you all are ready for what's coming. So you can go to acostainstitute.com, go to the certificate program, and just go to the scholarship section. And I let my team know that anybody from Awaken Conference gets the scholarship. We start on Sunday. Everything will be recorded, even if you can't make it. But so that was just a tip of the iceberg, my friends. That what we want to begin to understand is that this technology is moving fast. This technology is moving swiftly, and we need to get ready for something even deeper, because as you can see, Mr. Elon Musk is working really hard to build these robots, Optimus, and globally, some of the global powers are building robotics. Where you see the evolution of drones over the last decade. So here's a rub. How in this powerful body of mine am I getting ready for the technological revolution that's happening right now? And more importantly, when the time comes, and my consciousness has expanded enough, how will it meet the age when humans are in relationship with machines? I know it's a big thought. But as you're at Awaken, as you're thinking about our ancestors, honoring our ancestors, honoring and fostering the future, in the middle there is getting ready for the coming wave of technological advancements that'll be radically different from what we've seen before. And as strong, powerful, awakened men, we will hold the line. We will hold the line in the middle, walking the tightrope of expressing caution for the limits and concerns towards these technologies, and also exercising play exercising playing with these technologies in terms of how they can support us. Is that clear? Thumbs up. Is that clear to you all? So I wanna leave you with a contemplative practice, if that's okay. And so that was a lot, right? So that was a little quick kind of orientation around AI. I gave you a little example. I could, there's so many other things that I could share, but I want you just to take a moment and just take a deep breath with me. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. And let me hold space for you. Let me hold space for you during a guided meditation. Take a moment and just take a deep breath in through the nose, and then out through your mouth. In through the nose, out through your mouth. Closing our eyes if you feel supported. And as you breathe, feel that air come into your chest. Expand that chest. Gently exhaling. Inhale. Feel that air come in through the nose. Feel that belly rise. Feel that belly expand. Gently exhaling. Continuing on to breathe gently. During your next exhale, I want you to let your shoulders drop. Let your shoulders drop. Let your shoulders drop. During your next exhale, I want you to let your shoulders continue to melt to the sides. And each exhale, I want you to invite more ease into your body. And as you continue to breathe, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. You deserve healing. You deserve rest. You are more than enough. You can relax. You can relax in your power as an awakened one. Taking one full breath, gently exhaling. Taking one more full breath in through the nose, gently exhaling. And as you exhale, go ahead and gently open your eyes. Go ahead and gently open your eyes. Gently opening your eyes. Just coming back to the space, coming back to the room. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for being patient with me and the technology. I want to thank you for holding space for me at a distance, and letting me share a little bit about what's coming down the pipe with AI, It's going to be like any other really big technology, my friends. There's going to be bad stuff, there's going to be good stuff, but I want you all to really stay close. I want you to stay close. The analogy that I'll leave you with is fire. When we invented fire thousands and thousands of years ago, many of us were scared of fire because fire could burn your house down. Fire could burn your skin, but fire could generate smoke, right? And that's all true. It can hurt. At the same time, fire can heat food. Fire can provide heat for our homes. So we as a species built a whole infrastructure of regulations and ways to manage, build firefighters, fire hydrants, fire regulations, all kinds of things. So we're in the early stages of trying to harness AI. So similar to the first wave of trying to harness fire. So join us in that effort to harness this technology, and to harness it, you have to play. We have to play together. And there are no better people to play with these kind of technologies than people like you who are on the path to healing and a path to transformation. And with that, I leave you with deep gratitude. Thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you for the conference hosts. I really deeply appreciate you all. And I'm here to support if anything you need. Come to the Acosta Institute website. Feel free to reach out to me and my team. I got you all with scholarships for the AI program that starts this weekend. No pressure, but deep bow to you all from New York. You all take good care.
Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh. And you're invited to stay in. Thank you for the people on live stream as well. I wear this blue mantle in honor of Blue Man, the archetype of infinite compassion. And we put this conversation about artificial intelligence, all of it, that we must be part of the process, brothers, because we're here. Higher power, the divine, must want to do something through you. Why? Because you are here. And all of that, including AI, is one small speck of this great story that we are a part of. It is said that we are born in the middle of a movie and we die in the middle of a movie. We are born in the middle of a feast and we die in the middle of a feast. Deep breath. Deep bow. Thank you for being here. What's next?
Am I sharing a poem? Right on, I'm gonna share,
Yes,
share
yes.
a poem, yeah. Can we make some noise real quick for that fire right now? Some fire in the building. Yeah. I just want to carry that fire forward. I want to share a piece. I think we have these really deep, beautiful contemplative practices in the service of that fire, in the service of action that we take with intentionality, with purpose, with courage, conviction, compassion. And so I wrote a poem about taking action, but I can't do this poem alone. I need you all's help because I'm just one voice of the collective many, right? We got to do this work together. We rise as high as we lift others. I am who I am because my community loved me into existence. I believe in Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a South African concept that means I am because we are. A person is a person through other people, right? And so we got to do this work together. And so I'm going to say a call and response. So I'm going to say, we ain't backing up, we ain't backing down. We rise higher together. And you all say, we take action now. Think we can try that out? You got to say it like you really mean it, though. Say it from the bottom of your heart to the top of your lungs. You know what I'm saying? Say it with your chest. All right, let's try it out. We ain't backing up. We ain't backing down. We rise higher together. We take action now. All right, that was smooth. That was smooth. Make some notes for yourselves. That was good. That was good. I do this all over the country, and sometimes you got to unthaw the frozen chosen, but I think we already got some fire in this building, so let's get it. Let's get it. This moment is our inauguration. This moment, we're no longer waiting. People of every race, nation, and generation come together in this moment we are creating. Because we ain't backing up and we ain't backing down. We rise higher together. We take action now. This is not for the applause of the audience, but to build strong the world in which we long to live. A love letter written beyond the pen. The dance in our breath, the song in our skin. This is the moment we dare to begin, where our fears end, where the bruised and the broken restore, repair, and amend. Because we ain't backing up and we ain't backing down. We rise higher together. We take action now. We ain't staying static or stagnant. We changing the status. Because change ain't automatic. We have to make it happen. We turn our pain into power and our wounds into wisdom. In this moment, we'll honor both elders and children. In this moment, the stories we tell can help heal them. In this moment, our expressions of joy are resilient. Because we ain't backing up and we ain't backing down. We rise higher together. We take action now. Inspirational, unwavering, bold, confident, inclusive. We are the music that keeps the movement moving. We are the students of the revolution. We put the us in justice and the soul in solution, making a resolution, not just talk about it, but to do something. If our legacy speaks volumes of who we care about, may the way we live our lives say it loud and say it proud, with courage and compassion, till we have no doubt that this is the moment we take action now. Thank you.
Before Mike will explain what is happening now and then throughout the afternoon, I just wanted to express on behalf of Mick and me the affirmations we received after our storytelling, and I know you'll have more for Dan and T tonight, but it was all about the shift in our lives that will happen to all of us where we have to parent the parents, right? We have to parent our ancestors. Even if they're long departed, we will have a responsibility to transform and to reconcile whatever pain or whatever blessing that was there. And how do we do that? How do we prepare? We're here. Like I said, you are here. I can tell you, I have never felt so much fatherly energy from all of you, no matter whether you're a bio-father or not, or young or old, just so much tender embrace. So thank you, brothers. Thank you.
One of the ways we're going to be doing that this weekend is through your ofrendas, your offerings, for a very powerful ritual tomorrow afternoon. So between now and tomorrow afternoon, if you didn't create one at home, if you didn't remember to bring an electric candle with you, we have a table set up back there. It's the one with the Illuman tablecloth on it. And it's a workshop to create an ofrenda for yourself. We have candles you can take. There's labels, sticky labels that you can write the names of ancestors or people you want to remember, people you want to reparent, perhaps, or work with. So that's open to you if you didn't remember to bring one of your own. There's plenty. So anytime between now and tomorrow. A number of things. If you're online and you would like to participate in council, we're going to be breaking for council after this. If you'd like to participate as well online, just stay on the Zoom room and I will break you into virtual council groups after this. For those of you in this room, we'll also be breaking into council groups. You are already assigned. The little name on the bottom of your name tag is your council group. You're going to walk to the beach, which is, I believe, that way. Check your maps. And there'll be picnic tables set up facing each other. So you're not going to have a table in between you. You're going to sit on 2 different tables, sometimes 3, so that you can have a circle of men. Look for the piece of paper in the middle of the circle that has the name of your council. That's how you'll find it. Let's see. So those are going to start, I believe, at 10:50. Take 45 minutes, break by 11:35, 11:40, and we need the ritual participants, the folks that are working on that are participating in the ritual later this evening, to be in here no later than 11:40, 11:45, and wear your black shirts. So if you were recruited for that ritual, there's a practice time right before lunch. We need you in here as soon as possible after councils, wearing your black shirts. All right, what else? Buy a t-shirt. My daughter designed this, actually. She's a graphic design student at University of Texas. And they're all on the table back there. You'll have opportunity to buy them during the half hour right before lunch, or right before the evening session tonight, or right after. Sometime this weekend, pick up yours. Speaking of this afternoon, workshops in these side rooms, 1 p.m. I see a lot of you guys have already signed up for ones. There's limited space, so sign up on the table back there for the one that you want to attend. I do want to note there's the workshop Working with Latino Men. That is in English. So if you were concerned that, oh, that's not for me, it's not a workshop just for Latino men. It's one for everyone who cares about working with and supporting Latinos, maybe in your community, in your Illuman chapter, whatever. Be encouraged to go to that one if that's something you're passionate about or want to know more about. And finally, Paul is going to tell us about the soul play activities this afternoon, in case you're wondering about that. Right after the soul play activities at 4:30, you're going to have another council. We're going to ring that big bell that's over by the dining hall to call you back to council. One other thing. Thank you, Bob, for reminding me. If you need help getting to the councils or getting back from the councils, we will have cars available in the parking lot just right in front of the activities center, and those will shuttle you down to the beach. So if you have mobility issues, please just find me or Bob or Brody, and we will help get you there and back. Paul.
All righty, thank you. Soul Play begins right after your workshop, so you don't wait for any other announcements. Just go and get ready to have some fun. Now, why are we doing this? I don't recall us just being sent out to have fun, like in our inner self, but this was an intentional part of reclaiming ourselves among reclaiming our ancestors. I'd like to invite my brother Jerry Thompson to come up here and join me. We're so blessed that Jerry is leading our morning contemplative sit. And I texted him about 4:30 as I looked on my phone and said, oh, it's freaking 36 degrees with no hope of getting warmer by the time breakfast is served. And Jerry is hearty, and I understand the men had a wonderful time, so we'll continue that tomorrow. But Jerry, I just invited you out here just so I could put my arm around you. That's the whole point. I love my brother. But I also wanted to acknowledge Jerry's influence, his leadership on me. What occurred at one of our Illuman of the Ozarks gathering, that Jerry was leading this portion, and he invited us to get up from where we were doing our council circle and to head outdoors into a beautiful spring day and to reclaim some of our childhood. Oh, far too serious in council circle, weren't we? So we stepped out into this large meadow of the Springs Ecozoic Center where we gather as a chapter, just outside St. Louis, and we were told to play hide and seek. Wow, when was the last time you played hide and seek? But in this meadow, there were plenty of large cottonwoods to hide behind. Yeah, I could even hide behind that. You wouldn't even see me. And there was a woods where you could really just blend in. And there was a steep riverbank that you could crawl behind and to hide. And as soon as we were set loose, I think I was it, counted for 100 or so. I've just never heard so much belly laughter, genuine belly laughter, as men were trying to find their place. And then as we continued to chase each other once someone was found. But the greatest sight that I experienced was seeing the expression of pure joy on a 10-year-old boy who was with us. One of the dads brought his son with them, and we made him it along with me. Obviously, I can't run, so he was the one who was really going to get people. But I had my staff, and man, I wept with that. So. But the pure joy of seeing that 10-year-old boy play with his dad. And then as he was trying to find his dad who was hiding, just the look and the joy on his face, seeing his dad who was hanging on the riverbank, holding on to roots, But he was found out. So Dad sprang into action, and he ran around all around the meadow with his son chasing him, who just could barely breathe because he was laughing so much at that love that he was experiencing. Of course, Dad let him get caught right at the very end. But I don't think he'll ever forget that day. Yes, with his dad becoming one of him, one of his friends, but all those other old men who were trying to make it back to base from behind the trees. It was his greatest delight. So I said, when was the last time that you played as a child? When was the last time that you belly laughed and you squealed with joy? Well, the answer is going to be this afternoon. So seek your inner 10-year-old self and have some fun. So following the workshops, you'll have your choices, and you can head straight if you want to change to your room. There'll be plenty of time. And then to the choices. So I'm going to kind of give you little tips on where they are. So furthest back, where we are for the council circles, if you wish to hike into the woods, it's actually a very nice path, and it's hilly. Go figure. So you'll get a good hike workout, or you could diverge off into the woods and journal, have your own sit in the woods. It's a lovely spot. That's at the far end of the campsite. Moving closer, you'll see what looks like a tennis court. Perhaps it was. But that's where human foosball is going to take place. I've never done it either. But we'll have some volunteers there to help you. But yes, as you can imagine, you're holding on to a PVC pipe with other men next to you. And this is all the movement you can do, kicking the foosball. So we'll see who wins. Obviously, we need a good number of men. So if you're game, show up. And all these will have constant rotations. You can try it for a while and move on to something else. Don't worry. Okay, moving closer is the activity center. And that's where a lot of activities are taking place. So in the activity center, there is a swimming pool and a hot tub. So bring your shorts, and there's a shower or changing room if you prefer right there. And then there's a gym for basketball, and a volleyball net is set up. And then there's a game called 9 Square in the Air. And I'll be volunteering to lead that. And if you never tried it, it's fun. It really is lots of fun. The 9 Square is above you, so you kind of tip the balls and try to get it into someone else's square. It's kind of a rotation model. Then, as we heard, there is underwater, blacklight, putt-putt golf. So you'll be under the ocean level, trying to get a little ball into a hole with lots of crazy ocean sounds and fish sounds and all that. And then right next door is blacklight dodgeball. Now, we have these black bands. That's good. Last time we were here, we had those fluorescent yellow bands. We were dead meat. Easy giveaway. And then even, if you're wearing white socks, you're going to be a giveaway. But yeah, it is what it sounds. You'll be doing dodgeball, but you may not necessarily see who's throwing the ball at you. Then there are arcade games, not the video games, but billiards, and there's air hockey, and there's shuffleboard. That's right there. You're welcome to do that. But if you do those, you need to bring change, but there's a dollar changer for those. And there's also ping pong that you can purchase a ball. That's at the top. And there's also a weight room, which is on the second floor. That's there. Outside, moving further, is pickleball. That's what all those cones were, to make sure you didn't park in our pickleball court. And cornhole will be there as well. And then clear to the other side, past the dining room, you saw those 2 silos. They don't store corn. That's the climbing wall. So if you want to climb into a silo, that's where you'll head. And then right next to it is another shack. That's for axe throwing. So any fans of Johnny Carson with Claude Akins throwing the axe, I won't give you more information, but there's your chance. And we have a trained professional certified leader for that, so you could feel safe. So are there any questions on soul play? And so keep your watches ready, because they'll be straight from there over to council circle, but there's a big bell. Yeah, T? 2 hours, right. But listen for the bell if you lose your watch or don't have it. We'll ring it in plenty of time so you can start moving toward council circle. So any questions? We're all squared? All right.
And if you're on Zoom at home, Find your own way to play.
Yes, thank you.
See what you got. Bust out the candy land that you keep for your grandchildren and children or something. Or video games. I love video games.
Oh, yeah, there's one other option I remember. If you want to use the time to decorate your ofrendas, you may. We thought that would be a good time where you can let your creative mind go too. So it's all, however you need to relax, however you need to express yourself, is fine.
T. Michael, Glenn, did you want to come up and say more about the councils before we head to them?
Glenn Siegel.
Thank you. Come on up into the light.
By the way, if you're a council carrier, after Glenn is done, we'll meet right over there underneath that screen on the right-hand side. Or my right, your left.
I'm still sort of struggling with the tension inside me around AI. This sort of sense of, I want to hold on to what I know, but I have to let go and have something transform my world, and how to manage that. But anyway, we're about to go into council, and I wanted to say that perhaps being fully present with another person and with ourselves is probably the greatest gift we have to give. And we have the practice of counsel, which gives us a way to do that. And it's important that we move from our usual way of operating. We live in our ego minds most of the time. And our ego minds have a lot of skills, and we need all of them for survival. But one thing lacking in our ego minds is the capacity for presence. And for that, we really have to drop down into our heart space, and our bodies, because our minds really don't live there in presence. We're thinking about the past or planning in the future, neither of which is presence. So council gives us a chance to really be with each other, and it's a time where we invite stories, because it's our stories that bring us present, not our philosophies, not our opinions about outside external events, but our own personal stories that deepen our presence with each other. So it's a chance to be with each other in that way. And in council, it's uniquely designed so that we really can tell the story and be listened to. I know most of you are familiar with council, but there may be some people here that are not. Council is a place where we don't interrupt each other. We don't have crosstalk. We don't fix. We don't advise. We're purely listening. We're purely witnessing. And it's even important for us to hear ourselves tell our story in front of other people. There's a healing aspect to that. So I want to say a few things too about what council is not. It's not a discussion group. It's not a course or a training or a curriculum. It's not a religious formation program. It's not a substitute for spiritual direction. And it's not a therapy session. That doesn't mean that it isn't therapeutic, however, but it's not a therapy session. And I also want to say a few things about the structure of council. We intentionally meet in a circle, or at least as much of a circle as possible. And for that's for a couple of reasons. One is, it eliminates hierarchy so that everyone in the circle is really in an equal place. And even though there's a facilitator of the council, that man is not in a hierarchical position because he's in service to the circle. He works for the circle. And some other thoughts I have about circle are that it's really the shape of our planet. And it's the way we orbit around the sun. And in the center of our council, we will have a flame, even though it'll be electric. But it's symbolic of that whole way we exist on this planet, orbiting around the warmth, life-giving sun. Another thing about council for me is that unlike our usual way of operating in a linear, rational, goal-directed, masculine energy-directed way, council is relational, circular and relational, and in that sense has a feminine energy to it. And that is part of what allows the power of it, the balance of our masculine energy and our feminine nature together in council. That's not the way we usually talk about council circle, but it did occur to me that that's part of what it is. I want to go over the 4 intentions of Council 2. So they are speak from the heart. And as I said before, that means drop down into what's most authentic and honest about yourself and speak from there, rather than from your opinions and your mental analysis of the world. Listen from the heart. Listening from the heart means you are fully present to another man's story, that you aren't rehearsing your own story while listening, that he can feel your presence that way. And the next intention of spontaneous, being spontaneous and authentic, is again about not rehearsing, which means you're not listening if you're rehearsing. And by not rehearsing, it means you have some faith, you have some trust that when the talking piece gets to you, mystery will give you what you need to say. You don't have to plan it. You may have rehearsed something, let it go. It may come back, or it may be something totally unexpected that gives more of a mystery and power to the circle. And the last intention is be lean of expression. And that really means to try to stay with the essence of what you're trying to communicate. Not a lot of tangential or circumstantial details. When you're into that realm, you're losing people. And you're disrespectful of the time that we need for everyone to be able to speak. So it's a hard intention to stay with, because so much of the time we're not used to having an audience that really is listening to us. And we want to stay speaking, some of us, so that we don't lose that. A few things more about the sequence of things in council. Your council carrier will start the process, light the flame, and then invite dedications usually. Dedications can be your honoring of any one or any group or any other than human being or anything you want, that you want to bring the energy of that into your circle to be present with you. And what a dedication also does is it reminds us that we're part of a world bigger than us. There are forces outside of the council that we're acknowledging. There are people that allowed us to be here. And then there's likely to be a round of check-in where you're asked to speak briefly about what you're bringing at this moment to the council, what's on your heart, what you might be holding that creating some discomfort even, or maybe it's joy. But whatever it is you're holding that you are entering that circle with, it gives a sense of what's in the circle of that room at that time. And then your council carrier, also called stokers, will give you a prompt, invite you to speak to a prompt. And the prompt is really an invitation to go deeper into that. But if something is somehow triggered by the prompt that's not exactly the prompt, go with it, if it's from the heart and where you are at that moment. And at the end of the council, the council carrier will keep the time. There will be some kind of closing ritual, and each council carrier will probably come up with something of their own to do that, since they've had experiences with that. But it's a kind of unifying closing that brings the group together again in some way. Often it's without words as much as some kind of physical action together, but your council carrier will decide that. And I think those are the main points I wanted to say about council. And shall I send them, or do you want to send them? Oh, Ned. Yes, Ned has something to say about the evolution of the way we acknowledge a man's share.
Thanks. So you can just stay right here. Today and for the rest of the weekend, as we gather in council, we're going to use a word when somebody is shared, to acknowledge that they've shared. And the word we're going to use is hineni. Hineni. Say it with me one time. Hineni. Hineni is a Hebrew word. It comes from the Jewish scriptures. And it happens usually when God asks somebody, where are you? What are you doing? Are you ready? And then Abraham or Moses or Jacob or Samuel, on and on, they would say, Hineni. And often when God was about to ask something of them, they were scared as shit. And they were probably rather ambivalent about what was about to be asked of them. Okay? And all of that was welcome. All of that belonged. That came with them. So when they said, and by the way, what the word means is, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm showing up. I'm not backing down. I'm ready to act. Right, Joe? I'm ready to act. And not because I'm all in as best as I can. I'm bringing with me my doubts, my fears, my anxieties, my hesitations. And so that's the way we're going to use this word. When a brother shares and he's done, we'll say, Hineni. It means I'm with you. Might not agree with what you shared. I might have my own things I'm having to sit with, but I'm still with you. I'm honoring the dignity that you have in sharing what you needed to share in that moment, okay? Hineni. Say it one more time with me. Hineni. Okay.
Don't go away.
I want to just have my arms around you.
Oh, okay.
Just one last thing. Council Circle is not free time. Part of this learning is understanding that it doesn't matter what happens on stage or on the screen, but happens in the wisdom you share. Showing up for your brothers is part of our time at Awaken. It is deeply important. So if at all possible, show up for your brothers. These are small groups, only 6 of you per group. Be there for each other every time council meets. If you need a ride, we have cars to get you there. Otherwise, walk with a brother. The time on the road to and from council is sacred, precious time. Okay? Soul play, that's free time. You can play, you can go wild. We have free time built into the schedule, but council time is not that. So keep those edges hot. Show up for each other. Find your group. And council carriers, please meet me over there. And we'll see you there.